You nobody cares what you do anymore.
Lean back.
How the fuck am I gonna lean back with the fucking you hold my
Quit.
belt?
Look, we're not gonna do this, right? We're not gonna do this, right?
An IMPD officer will spend a year in prison after admitting to using excessive force when he stomped on a man's face while that man was in handcuffs. Good evening. I'm Debbie Knox.
And I'm Jenny Dressler in for Bob tonight. And today, U.S. Attorney Zachary Myers says he's hopeful that today's sentence will send a strong and clear message that nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law.
Welcome back to We the People University. Today, we will provide you with a follow-up on the story we previously covered involving an Indiana Metropolitan Police officer who egregiously breached his responsibilities as a police officer. Earlier this year, Police Sergeant Eric Huxley admitted guilt to a federal criminal civil rights violation stemming from an incident on September 24, 2021. During this incident, he employed excessive force against an already detained and handcuffed individual. Huxley stomped on the face and the head of the man who was already handcuffed and laying on the ground. Notably, the handcuffed man did not actively resist the officers. In fact, body camera footage clearly revealed that the officers became agitated by the words spoken by the restrained individual.
No, nobody cares what you're saying.
No, Karen, nobody cares what you do either.
Not really.
You understand that?
Yeah, I'm not the one out here complaining.
No, that was a say. Nobody cares what you do anymore.
I know, nobody's out here
Nobody
complaining.
cares what you do anymore. You understand that?
Lean back.
You nobody cares what you do anymore.
Lean back.
How the fuck am I gonna lean back with the fucking you hold my
Quit.
belt?
At this point, the officer is telling the man to lean back, and the man tries to respond and ask a question of, how can I lean back with you holding my belt? But when he attempted to ask the question, this is the result.
Look, we're not gonna do this, right? We're not gonna do this, right?
We're done. You're done. You're done. You're done.
Are we done now?
Roll over. You're done.
I can't.
Roll over.
I can't.
You're done. There you go. You're done. There you go. There you go. Done. Police brutality.
Just line him up.
There you go. Police brutality.
And now, let's view from another officer's body cam.
Back with the fucking you hold my belt.
We're not gonna do this, right?
We're done. You're done. You're done. You're done.
Are we done now?
Roll over. You're done.
I can't.
Roll over.
I can't.
If you notice, there are two cops on top of the victim, and they're telling him to roll over. And he's telling them, I cannot roll over. Far too often, we see cops giving orders to be followed that are impossible for the victim to follow. Common sense will tell anyone that if I have two people on top of me and you're telling me to roll over, I cannot roll over. I am not resisting. I physically cannot move. These are cops throwing their weight around because they can. Let's listen to what Zachary Meyer, the U.S. attorney, had to say about the matter.
It was deliberate, it was forceful, and it was targeted.
In a news conference Friday, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Indiana, Zachary Myers, wasn't mincing words as he strongly condemned the actions of IMPD Sergeant Eric Huxley.
I was absolutely horrified and I think, like the judge, viscerally, like physically reacted, I think I shouted out, no, you don't do that. That's not policing.
Even though freedom of speech is a constitutionally safeguarded right, as upheld by the Supreme Court rulings like Houston v. Hill, these IMPD officers, similar to a significant portion of law enforcement officers nationwide, chose to respond to the spoken words by taking matters into their own hands.
He was on the ground and handcuffed when Huxley is seen walking over and stomping on the man's face.
Mr. Huxley unilaterally decided the man's guilt and exacted punishment on him, not in a court of law, but on the concrete of Monument Circle.
Huxley was sentenced Friday to 1 year and 1 day in federal prison with 6 months of home detention and 18 months of supervised release.
The few who violate their oath to protect and serve by using excessive force in this kind of graphic and horrific way will be held accountable.
Huxley has been on unpaid suspension during the investigation, and IMPD Chief Randall Taylor has called for the Civilian Police Merit Board to terminate Huxley's employment with IMPD.
He is going to be in handcuffs. He is going to be in a federal prison with all the other people who violated federal criminal law. And the message that that sends to the community, that our officers are not above the law.
You're done. There you go. You're done. There you go. There you go. Done. Police brutality.
Just light him up.
There you go. Police brutality.
While working as a police officer, one thing I noticed about the department was that there was a certain level of arrogance that was all throughout the police department. It's like walking with a God complex. And the danger in having a God complex is it leads you to treat people like what we just witnessed in this video. Many police officers have this mentality, and this is why we see them treat the public the way that they do. This is why it is so important for you to know your rights, for you to fight back, always record the police, because if you don't, it's your words against theirs, and they're going to always investigate themselves and find themselves not guilty. Fight back the legal way, always know your rights. With that being said, We the People University signing off.